Atomic Habits. Full book summary.
In 2003, the British cycling team was a disaster. They hadn't won the Tour de France in over a century. Equipment manufacturers refused to sell them bikes. They were afraid being associated with British cycling would hurt their brand. They were that bad. Then they hired a new coach, a man named Dave Brailsford, and he had a philosophy: the aggregation of marginal gains. His idea was simple. If you broke down everything that goes into riding a bike and then improved each thing by just 1%, the gains would add up to something remarkable. So they did. They redesigned the bike seats to be more comfortable. They rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip. They tested different massage gels to see which helped muscles recover fastest. They even painted the inside of their team truck white so they could spot tiny dust particles that might affect the bikes. 1% here, 1% there. Within 5 years, the British cycling team won 60% of the gold medals at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. In the decade that followed, they won 178 world championships and 5 Tour de France victories in 6 years. That is what this book is about. That is what we're going to break down today, chapter by chapter, idea by idea. This is the full summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if you stick with me for the next 30 minutes, you will walk away with an entirely new understanding of how behavior actually changes and exactly what to do about it.
James Clear spent years studying the science of habits. After a severe baseball injury in high school, he was hit in the face by a bat. It took him years to rebuild his physical and mental health. And he did it not through massive overnight change, but through tiny, consistent improvements. He started writing about it. His newsletter grew to millions of readers. And in 2018, he published Atomic Habits, which became one of the best-selling self-help books of all time. The core argument of the book is this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Goals are about results. Systems are about the processes that lead to results. And habits are the building blocks of those systems. The book is divided into 5 parts. Let's go through all of them.
Chapter 1: The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. Here's a question. If you got 1% better at something every single day for a year, how much better would you be at the end? The answer is 37 times better. Not 365% better, 3,700% better. That's the math of compound growth. Now flip it. If you get 1% worse every day for a year, you decline to nearly 0. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The problem is that the results of good habits are delayed. You don't feel the benefit of going to the gym after 1 session. You don't feel smarter after reading for 20 minutes. The improvements are invisible. James Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Imagine an ice cube sitting on a table. The room starts at 25 degrees. You warm it to 26, nothing. 27, nothing. 28, 29, 30, still nothing. But at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the tipping point, the ice suddenly melts. All that work before, it wasn't wasted. It was stored. It was building momentum below the surface. This is why people quit. They work hard and see no results. They assume the work isn't working, but they're just not at 32 degrees yet. Forget goals. Focus on systems. A goal is the destination. A system is the vehicle. The score takes care of itself when you improve the process. Chapter 2: How your habits shape your identity. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on outcomes. They say, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to write a book. I want to run a marathon. Clear says this is the wrong layer to focus on. There are 3 layers to behavior change. Layer 1, outcomes, what you get. Layer 2, processes, what you do. Layer 3, identity, what you believe. Most people focus on layer 1. The most effective approach starts at layer 3. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. Every time you sit down and read, even for 5 minutes, you cast a vote for the identity of I am a reader. Every time you skip the gym, you cast a vote against the identity of I am someone who works out. Your habits are how you prove your identity to yourself. They are evidence, and the more evidence you accumulate, the stronger the belief. So the real question isn't, what do I want to achieve? The real question is, who do I want to become? Key idea. Identity-based habits stick because they're not about doing something differently. They're about being someone different. Chapter 3. How to build better habits in 4 steps. In the 1890s, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike ran experiments with cats in puzzle boxes. The cats that escaped and found food were more likely to escape faster next time. Behavior that produced a satisfying result was repeated. Decades later, Charles Duhigg simplified this into the habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. James Clear takes it one step further and breaks it into 4 stages. 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. Your brain notices an opportunity for reward. 2. Craving, the motivational force. You don't crave the habit itself, you crave the change it delivers. 3. Response, the actual habit, the thought or action you perform. 4. Reward, the end goal. It satisfies the craving and teaches the brain what to remember next time. This loop runs in the background of every behavior you have, every single one. And from this loop, Clear builds the entire framework of the book, the 4 laws of behavior change. Law 1, make it obvious, cue. Law 2, make it attractive, craving. Law 3, make it easy, response. Law 4, make it satisfying, reward. To break a bad habit, you invert each law. Invert 1, make it invisible. Invert 2, make it unattractive. Invert 3, make it difficult. Invert 4, make it unsatisfying. This is the architecture of the entire book. Now, let's go law by law. Chapter 4. The Man Who Didn't Look Right. There's a doctor who works in a cardiac unit. He says that when a patient walks into the room, sometimes he just knows, before any test results, that something is very wrong. He calls it the man who didn't look right. His brain has processed thousands of patients. It's built unconscious pattern recognition so powerful it overrides conscious thought. This is what a trained habit looks like. Most of our habits operate exactly this way. They're on autopilot. We don't notice them, and that's the problem. Clear introduces a tool called the Habit Scorecard. Simple idea. Write down everything you do in a day and label it positive, plus, negative, minus, or neutral, equals. Most people are shocked by what they discover. Before you can change a habit, you have to see it. Awareness is the first step. You can't optimize what you haven't acknowledged. Chapter 5. The best way to start a new habit. 2 of the most powerful tools in this chapter: implementation intentions and habit stacking. Implementation intention. Instead of saying, "I will exercise more," you say, "I will exercise at 7 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in my living room." Studies show that people who use this formula are 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through. Why? Because you've eliminated the two biggest questions at the moment of action: when and where. Habit stacking goes one step further. You attach a new habit to an existing one. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. The existing habit becomes the cue. The new habit rides on top. No willpower needed. The trigger is already built into your day. The most reliable cues are time and location. Specificity drives action. Chapter 6. Motivation is overrated. Environment matters more. Here's a famous experiment. When a hospital redesigned its cafeteria and moved water bottles next to every cash register, water sales tripled. No ads, no motivation campaigns, just placement. Anne Thorndike, the doctor who ran the experiment, called it a choice architecture change. The environment shaped the choice before anyone made a conscious decision. Clear's point is blunt. Stop waiting for motivation. Engineer your environment instead. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to eat healthier? Put fruit on the counter. Hide the snacks. Want to practice guitar? Leave it on a stand in the middle of the room. Visual cues are the most powerful triggers for behavior. Make the right cues obvious. Make the wrong ones invisible. Every habit is initiated by a cue. We are more likely to notice cues that stand out. Chapter 7. The secret to self-control. Bad news for anyone who thinks willpower is the answer. The people we consider disciplined are not actually better at resisting temptation. They just encounter it less. The secret to self-control is environment design. Remove the cue, kill the craving. If you want to stop scrolling Instagram, delete the app from your home screen. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't bring it into the house. Don't test your willpower. Remove the test. Self-control is a short-term strategy. Environment design is the long-term one. Dopamine is the habit chemical. But here's the twist. Dopamine spikes not just when you get a reward. It spikes in anticipation of the reward. The wanting is as powerful as the getting. This is why slot machines are so addictive. The variability of the reward keeps dopamine perpetually elevated. Every spin is an anticipation event. To make good habits more attractive, Clear introduces temptation bundling. Only watch your favorite Netflix show while exercising. Only listen to your favorite podcast while doing chores. You link something you want to do with something you need to do. The want becomes the reward that makes the need bearable. Chapter 9 is about social norms. Humans are herd animals. We do what the tribe does. One of the most powerful things you can do is join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. Want to read more? Join a book club. Want to work out? Find a gym community. Want to build a business? Surround yourself with entrepreneurs. Chapter 10 flips the law for bad habits. Make them seem unattractive. Reframe the narrative. Instead of "I have to quit smoking," tell yourself, "I'm becoming someone who doesn't poison their lungs." Every behavior has a surface-level craving and a deeper underlying motive. When habits satisfy deeper motives, they become hard to give up. Chapter 11 opens with this: The most common mistake people make is confusing motion with action. Writing a workout plan is motion. Going to the gym is action. Motion feels productive, but doesn't produce results by itself. The key variable is repetition. Habits form through frequency, not time. You don't need to do something for 21 days to form a habit. You need to repeat it enough times that it becomes automatic. That number varies, but repetition is the mechanism. Chapter 12 is about friction. The central idea: reduce friction for good habits, increase friction for bad ones. Want to go to the gym in the morning? Sleep in your gym clothes. Want to stop watching TV? Unplug it after every use. Every bit of friction you add to a bad habit reduces how often it happens. Chapter 13 introduces one of the most famous ideas in the book, the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Want to read more? Start by reading 1 page. Want to run? Put on your running shoes and walk to the end of the street. Want to meditate? Sit in a quiet spot and take 3 deep breaths. The point isn't that 2 minutes is enough. The point is that you must show up. A habit must be established before it can be improved. The 2-minute rule is about building the identity of someone who shows up, even on bad days. Chapter 14 is about commitment devices, making future bad choices harder to make now. Ulysses had himself tied to the mast so he couldn't be seduced by the sirens. You can do the same. Automation: set up automatic savings. Schedule meetings at the gym. Remove apps. One-time choices: buy a smaller TV. Get rid of the junk food. Put your phone charger in another room. Make the choice once, let it govern all future behavior. Chapter 15: Rewards, Habit Tracking, and the Accountability Partner. The brain encodes behavior that feels rewarding. This is simple evolutionary biology. Pleasure teaches the brain to repeat an action. The problem with most good habits is that their rewards are delayed. The gym makes you fit, but not today. Eating well prevents disease, but decades from now. We live in an immediate return world with a delayed return nervous system. The solution? Add immediate satisfaction to good habits. Give yourself a small, immediate reward after completing a habit. It doesn't need to be big: a star on a calendar, a tick in a journal, a piece of dark chocolate. The point is to make the ending of the habit feel good, so the brain wants to do it again. Chapter 16 introduces habit tracking, one of the most practical tools in the book. Don't break the chain. Every day you complete a habit, mark an X on a calendar. Watch the streak grow. The visual progress is itself rewarding, and the longer the chain, the more you want to protect it. Never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit, a bad one. The most important rule in habit tracking isn't perfection, it's recovery. Chapter 17 adds an accountability partner to the mix. We care deeply what others think of us. A habit contract, where you publicly commit to a habit and face a penalty for breaking it, is remarkably effective. The 4 laws create a complete system. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Remove any one of these and the habit weakens. Stack all 4 and it becomes nearly unstoppable. Chapter 18. The Truth About Talent. When Genes Matter and When They Don't. Michael Phelps has a wingspan that's unusually wide for his height. Eliud Kipchoge has an unusually high VO2 max. Genes matter. They tilt the playing field. But here's Clear's nuance. Genes do not determine destiny. They determine the areas where you have the highest ceiling. The goal is to find a game where your natural abilities are amplified, where the habits that come naturally to you are the habits that produce outsized results. If you can't find that game, create it. Combine your strengths in unusual ways. Be the best in the world at a very specific combination of things that you and only you happen to be good at. Work hard on things that come easy to you. That's not laziness, that's leverage. Chapter 19. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated for the long run. Have you ever been so locked into a task that you forgot to eat? That you looked up and 3 hours had passed? Psychologists call this flow state, and the conditions for flow are specific. The task must be just beyond your current skill level. Not too easy, you get bored. Not too hard, you get anxious. Right at the edge. The Goldilocks Rule. Peak motivation occurs when the challenge is just manageable. This is why good habits eventually plateau. Once something becomes automatic, it's no longer challenging. The solution is to layer in deliberate practice, always pushing slightly beyond your current level. And here's the thing the motivational speakers don't tell you. Even the most successful people show up on the days they don't feel like it. The difference between a professional and an amateur is that the professional does the work regardless of mood. Fall in love with boredom. Your competition quits on the hard days. Show up anyway. Chapter 20. The Downside of Good Habits. How to Keep Improving. The final chapter contains one of the underrated ideas in the book. The greatest threat to success is not failure, it is boredom. Once a habit becomes automatic, it stops generating growth. You need habits for consistency and deliberate practice for mastery. You need both. Clear introduces a final tool, the annual review. Once a year, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. What went well this year? 2. What didn't go well? 3. What am I still learning? The goal isn't to judge yourself. It's to reflect honestly and recalibrate. To make sure your habits are still aligned with who you're becoming, not just who you were. Let's come back to where we started. The British cycling team. 1% repeated every day. The ice cube sitting at 31 degrees, invisible progress building beneath the surface. The cat in the puzzle box, slowly encoding the pattern of escape. All of these are the same story. Tiny changes, consistent repetition, delayed results, and then, at some invisible threshold, a breakthrough. James Clear's final message is this: every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be dramatic. You just need to start small, show up consistently, and trust the math. 1% better every single day. That's it. That's the whole book.